Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd share the day 3 of our road trip. Sorry, just trying to get a good lighting. So day 3, we woke up from the hotel in Las Vegas. We woke up a little late because we had been out a little later than we had planned because we gotten into the hotel late and ate dinner late, and so I think we left the hotel probably around 8 or 9 o'clock, just in time to get breakfast in the hotel before leaving on to our next stop. And our next stop was going to be the Hoover Dam. That's the whole reason we went to the Vegas first place, and then so it took us less than an hour to get to the Hoover Dam. And of course, the first thing that came up was the bridge. So we stopped there, and then there are lots of signs there saying no dogs up on the bridge, and then no dogs left in the car. So my husband and I agreed that one of us would go up and then we'd switch. So I went up first, and I started to walk down the bridge, and it just came usually I'm not afraid of heights, but it was really interesting because the wind is just blowing like crazy, and then you realize how far down you're looking, and on the bridge cars are just flying past you. So I don't know. All of a sudden it just came over me oh, this is kind of scary. So I made it quarter way down the bridge, took the pictures I needed to take, barely got up to the railing because I was just oh, it's a long way down there. So I went back to the car and I told my husband about it, and he was oh, well, you got to see it, that's enough, I don't need to go up there. So we were just on our way, and we went to the entrance of the Hoover Dam, and of course, we weren't expecting all the security when we got there, and they have all these signs no weapons and such, and we're I don't know if we're gonna get in trouble for this because we didn't have regular guns around us or anything, but we did have my air gun that my dad had gotten me, so we're kind of are we gonna get in trouble for that? So when the cop asked if we had any weapons, we're no, because technically under lots of things they're not considered a gun or anything. So, and then they're the way my husband answered kind of sounds suspicious, so, and I knew he was freaking out anyway because he doesn't like to break any rules or anything. So he asked us again, and my husband explained that we had the air gun, and oh, okay, that's fine. And I think he realized my husband was military, we're not gonna do anything. So we went on the way down, and we drove over the dam, and then we go to park, and of course there's even more signs about the dog not being able to go on the dam, or can't leave him in the car. And at this point it's still early in the morning, barely any of the tourists are there, and so we just came right as it kind of opened, and so we're okay, we're just gonna wing it. We left her in the car, we had left her with tons of water, and we covered up the area so it was shady, and we put the windows down. So, and then we pretty much ran down to the dam, took some pictures, looked at it a little bit, then ran back to the car. So we were probably literally down at the dam for 5-10 minutes. So she was barely left in the car at all. And again, it was early in the morning, it was pretty cool, and the sun had barely been out. So we're okay, we're just gonna do it really quick. So once we got back in the car, we stopped at a little souvenir shop and got a magnet, of course, for our trip to Vegas. We had been to Vegas before, but we went to the NFR, which is the National Finals Rodeo, and we had only gotten the magnet for that event, but we didn't really get a magnet for being actually in Las Vegas. So I picked up a Las Vegas magnet and also a Hoover Dam, which also showed the Memorial Bridge. So I was excited about that because that's our big thing, is to collect magnets, since it's the cheapest souvenir you can get and it's easy to transport. And we were taking all these magnets back with us to Germany, so we wanted to be able to pack it in our suitcases when we flew over. So after that, we hit the road and we went to the Grand Canyon. We were first gonna go over that bridge. I guess it's shaped like a U, or shaped like a horseshoe. But then while I was looking it up, it was like $80 a person, and then we would have had to put Kylie, our dog, in a kennel, and it just felt like a lot of work, and we're just like, ugh, and too much money. Like, we were already kind of on a budget because all this road trip was, you know, on our budget, because we wanted to see family before we moved to Germany. So all this was all our money that we had been saving. I mean, we sold a lot of stuff to make sure we could afford the road trip. So we opted out of that, and we went on further down the South Rim, like close to the end of the South Rim, and I guess there's a couple points up there. I can't remember, or I can't really pronounce how to say the names. I'll probably put them in the description below so that you can see them. So we got there kind of later in the afternoon than we had planned, but it was kind of like perfect timing, because then like the sun was kind of like, we had gotten there right before the sun was about to go down, so it was like the canyon was just beautiful. And we had Kylie with us, which was thankfully that we could have her with us and walking around. And everybody that saw her just loved her. Like, everyone's like, oh, she gets the dog award of the day, like the prettiest dog they had seen. So it was pretty funny. And then we also had a couple that took a picture of us by the Grand Canyon, and that's been a really cool picture to have. And it was just awe-striking, like, to like see the Grand Canyon. Like, you look at it and you think you're just staring at a picture. You're like, this isn't real. Like, I don't know. It's just cool because it's like, it's on a lot of people's bucket list that live in America. Even if they don't live in America, it could be on their bucket list. It's just interesting what Mother Nature does. So we were originally gonna camp, because we wanted to camp because we were trying to save on money, but the only thing is, we were noticing that it had probably only snowed like a couple days earlier, so there was still snow on the ground, and we were like, well, we don't want to put our tent, even though we had like a tarp, we didn't want to put our tent down on the ground, and we didn't want to like have all that mud in our car, because everything was like packed stuff, so it just wouldn't work out, and the moisture and everything, it was just like not worth it. So I was lucky and I found a pretty cheap hotel, and it was La Quinta, since we were a Wards member and we knew Kylie could stay there and we'd get the military discount. But what's funny is it was like a brand new La Quinta, so it was probably one of the nicest La Quintas I've ever stayed in. And so it was in Williams, Arizona, and I believe that's the city name. Anyways, I'll put it in the description below if you're curious. It's a really cute city. We asked the guy at the front where to eat dinner and such, and we went to this really cute mom and pop restaurant, and they made everything from scratch. And it was really funny though, because you could tell, like, I think someone young was helping them modernize their restaurant, because they were ordering off iPads, but you could tell like it was older people doing the, you know, that were waitresses, and they're like, oh, I don't know how to figure this out, so they'd go get the younger person to help. But I thought it was cool how they were trying to integrate it all and make sure that the store stayed, you know, modernized, but still in their mom and pop wise. But yeah, the food was great, and the dessert was even better. Like, the cake was just out of this world. I have to put that for sure in the description below, because you definitely have to check it out if you go down there. And it was even cool because then we walked around the city, and my husband's like, man, a lot of these places look like what the Cars movie was. Like, that looks like Luigi's shop or whatever. And like, I was like, okay, sure. And because they had all these neon signs and everything. So then we went and took a horse carriage ride, because you know me, the horse girl, I had to take a horse carriage ride and support those horse people. And when we were taking the ride, he was telling us about, like, yeah, a lot of the Cars movie is actually based off Highway 66, and they actually went into the towns, and, you know, so every place we stop or when we go by it with the horse carriage, it's like, yeah, that's the part that's in the movie, or, you know, that leaning tower thing that's in the movie, yeah, that was here. Like, it used to be a competition for whoever could get the tire over the pole, and it was just like, wow, that was really cool. And like, we weren't expecting to learn all that when we were there, so that was a cool experience. He also told us about the Japanese underground railroad and all kinds of things like that. So sometimes you just never know what you're gonna learn when you just stop in a little city like that. But it was definitely worth the stop, and I mean, it was awesome to stay in such a nice hotel too, because it was like, it felt like it had just opened, like not even like a month before or something. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed our day 3 of our road trip. Make sure you check back in tomorrow to learn about day 4. And subscribe if you like, or have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, guys.